So we want to make a quick little video to help you with some tips and tricks on getting your truck and camper hooked up together so that we do everything stress-less and safe and secure. We got to get hooked up, we got to do it safely. So first thing to do is make sure that your wheel chocks are still where you left them and in place. Make sure your stabilizer jacks are lifted up. You don't want to be changing the angle of your camper with your stabilizer jacks in place or you'll break them. Chances are that you probably had to lower the tongue or raise the tongue in order to level your camper when you got here. So what you want to make sure is that your tongue is up high enough that your ball clears. So I do it this very scientific way. The ball's this high, the jack's not high enough. All right, unlock your pin, because remember, you're not going to be able to lock that ball into here unless this is open. Now comes the hard part. If you're by yourself, I recommend that you get these tennis balls. These are extremely useful. You put one on the truck right by the ball. You put one right here. Then, as you're backing up, you can line up the tennis balls, and when they bang into gently touch into one another, you're in line. Now, if you don't have these and you have to develop another method, I have a way of knowing where the center of my tailgate is so that I can line it up here. I'll show you an ice scraper because, you know, we're not in Southern California anymore. I did break it, but importantly, it's red, it's easy to see. I draw an arrow with my red scraper right in the middle of the tailgate. That way I can line that scraper up with the center of the trailer and it helps me. I still have a hard time with depth perception. I still get out every 4 inches and make sure that I'm where I think I am in the backing up process. But you know the easiest way? Get yourself an assistant. We line up, but we're just that far off, and so we have to kind of move it just a little bit. Get that down on there until this latches easily into place. You shouldn't have to force that. If you have to force it, you're probably not lined up yet. Go ahead and pin it now so you don't forget. And put your keys away. Not on the bumper.
Why, Peggy?
Because then they'll stay there until you drive off and leave them on the highway somewhere. Okay, gotta put the stabilizer bars back on. So remember how we had to lift to get them off? We gotta lift to put them on. Okay, this is how these go in. There's a lot of different designs, a lot of different styles. This happens to be the way ours go in. The bar faces up, there's a hole right here, and this has to click right into there. Before you go lifting and lowering too much, it's probably not a bad idea to plug in so that you're using the truck's power instead of wasting your camper's power. Make sure it clicks, and on ours, the little flap door comes down and clicks onto the outlet so that I know I've got a good secure plug. Let's see if I can do this. Clicked in, slid on. This side's not going on yet. I got to lift up a little bit higher to get this side to go on. Put your L pin in place. Don't make the mistake I made the first time and faced it out. That's not going to hold the bar in place. Make sure that this is over the bar. This is actually holding that thing in.
By the way, to get that cotter pin in, I put a little graphite spray on it, which makes all the difference in the world. It's so easy to get it in now.
So this, you want to be easy to take in and out. It's not going to slide out. That's the design of it. However, these things work by friction. Don't grease this squeaky part, because that's how it actually works. You don't want it to be greased.
That's good advice. But the graphite on the cotter pin really helps.
Okay, so now you're going to want to put the chains on. Now, if your chains don't come from exactly the same place, you should cross them, because they'll make a little cradle for this in case something happens and it falls. Ours don't really cross, so we don't really have that option. You want to hook these chains to a hook on the truck, not on the bumper. Because again, if something goes wrong and everything unhooks, and this is hooked to the bumper, the camper will just take the bumper. This is designed to make sure, just an extra security, that things don't come flying apart on the highway.
Yeah, that's always a bummer.
You've got your trailer brake cable. This is designed that if there's a sharp pull, like if this comes apart, the trailer will engage its own brakes and it'll stop riding down the highway on its own. Don't let this be tangled up. Don't let it get too short to where when you turn it's going to pull on it. And then hook this one also up to the truck frame. We put it right, not in the chain, but in the same hook location as the chain. Don't hook it to the chain, because then everything's attached to the trailer and it's not going to do anything.
Yeah, our those eyelets there are actually on the frame of the truck, but it's not always the case. So make sure you're hooking to the actual truck and not something that can be pulled out easily.
You want your cable to be kind of loose, but you don't want it to drag on the ground. The same with your electrical. So we took a piece of Velcro. We kind of hooked those together a little bit, Velcro them loosely. So they still have give. They can still go in and out as we turn and maneuver, but they don't drag onto the ground. Okay, I think I've got everything sufficiently hooked up. I'm gonna take the wheel chocks out. Hope nothing moves. It won't. And then I'm gonna drive forward a few feet, stop, get out, and recheck everything, including the lights. I've got this electrical plug plugged in, but I really want to make sure that the lights are working on the back of the camper, and if they are, then I know that those trailer brakes are also going to work. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot something. I don't want to drive yet. Look at that. Do you know what I'll do to that foot? Okay, we had to lift the camper way up to get the stabilizers on. Now we got to lift it down so that we can take that foot off of there. Even if that's a wheel, you don't want to be driving on that.
And that's why checklists make for stressless camping.
All right, got my wheel chocks out. I'm gonna roll forward a little bit, and then I'm gonna come check everything out and make sure it's all set. Okay, I moved forward a bit. I'm gonna walk all the way around. I'm gonna make sure everything is good. I had my wheel chocks up. I didn't leave them laying on the ground. All my cabinets are closed and locked. Everything's put away. My flashers are working. So I can't check my brake lights when I'm by myself, but my flashers are working. That tells me that my electricity is hooked up. The awning is in. Doors are closed and locked. This door is closed and locked and secured. The steps are up. Don't forget that. Make sure that's on your checklist. Cabinets are locked. It doesn't look like anything came loose while I made my 3-foot journey. So I think that I'm ready to get on the road. Happy camping!